What's happening, you guys? All right, we got another one. We got another one. I don't know if you guys tuned into my video last night, but if you didn't, let me just show you about the comment I made after Barron and Jack Eye signed their deals regarding Kaiden Guhle. Let's take a look. Pretty well everybody is signed now. Next we see Kaiden Guhle next summer. He's probably going to come in for a longer term deal. He's more of a sure thing who's going to be a top pairing defenseman with the Canadiens for a long time. So we're probably going to see a longer term deal for Kaiden Guhle next summer. Unless they decide to extend him sooner, they could. They very well could. We saw it happen with Slavkovsky. Now, I didn't know it would be this quick. I mean, it's pretty cool to see Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon just taking care of business right here in the summertime, getting all these guys signed. Now, Kaiden Guhle, as I mentioned, I expected a long-term deal for him. We know that he's going to be one of our top two defensemen for the Montreal Canadiens for at least another 6 years. He's locked in until 2030 for $33 million, a cap hit of just over $5 million. And, you know, it's interesting with Kaiden Guhle because he's been a natural leader from the time he got to Montreal. He's always been a leader in junior hockey. He was a leader even years before that when he was a lot younger playing hockey. So it's pretty cool to see Kaiden Guhle now going to be stepping into a bigger leadership role with the Canadiens. And the biggest reason why he wanted to sign long-term is because of how much belief there really is from this young core of players. As you know, Nick Suzuki signed long-term, Cole Caulfield signed long-term, Juraj Slavkovsky signed long-term. Now Kaiden Guhle signed long-term as well. This is a core of kids all coming up together, and they have one goal in mind. They want to win. So the cap hit, to be specific, for Guhle is $5.55 million. So that means that's $5.5 million. So he's actually going to be making more on the cap hit than Mike Matheson. So I just thought that was interesting because currently we still consider Mike Matheson to be our top defenseman. But, Guhle mentioned in his presser about how much he's learned from David Savard and Mike Matheson during his time. And, he was the captain of Team Canada at the World Junior Championship in 2022. So it's not to be underestimated that Kaiden Guhle has been a leader. He's going to continue to be one. And the way this guy plays, I mean, he brings a lot of smart hockey to the game. And what I mean by that is he just does a lot of things well. He can be offensive. He can score. He can kill plays really well. He's a big kid. He's not small. I mean, if you actually look at his stature, he's 6'3", 200 pounds. So he might even be a bit more than that by the time this training camp comes around. So to see the commitment, to see all these guys really buying in and signing these long-term deals for reasonable cap hits, it's really encouraging for this rebuild. I actually had the privilege of being at the game where Kaiden Guhle scored his first career NHL goal in Buffalo. As you guys know, some of you know that I go see almost every Canadiens game in Buffalo, except for the Slavkovsky one where he got the shootout winner. I don't even want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. What a game that was to miss. But anyway, I did see Kaiden Guhle's first NHL goal. It was special. It was a beautiful one-time shot. I still remember, the bird's eye view I had of that goal from Kaiden Guhle, and it was just a lot of fun to be there for that moment. From the time Guhle was drafted in 2020 during COVID, and it was digital, it was on TV, it was weird, there was no live draft like we saw the last few years after COVID, and that actually might continue. There's rumors about that it might just be at the Sphere every year because of how spectacular it was in Vegas this year. So we'll see what actually comes about from there. But Kaiden Guhle said when he got drafted that he really wanted to create a similar mean streak to Shea Weber. And I remember thinking, like, you know what? That sounds pretty good to me. And then that's not a bad player to model your game after. I was always a big Shea Weber fan. And I just remember when Kaiden Guhle was 18 years old, seeing him get drafted. He looked like a big kid in the video. He looked like a pretty poised kid, a kid who was determined to win and do a good job and really believed in himself first before getting drafted. So it was pretty cool. And I remember the Toronto Maple Leafs actually passing, from what I remember, on Kaiden Guhle too. So it's interesting to see the Canadiens building around this young core. And now Kaiden Guhle, another piece signed long-term, a player that's going to be an important piece for the Canadiens going forward in this rebuild, as we know. And he's just got a lot of good things he can do on the ice. He's responsible. He can hit. He can drop the gloves. He can score. He can make the first pass. and just a guy that uses his head, and of course that leadership intangible that comes with it. He's got about just about everything you want in an NHL defenseman. He's only going to be getting better and better. And, even looking back at his stats, I'm like, I don't remember him playing with the Laval Rocket, but apparently he did in 2020, 2021. He played 3 games with the Rocket, which I don't remember, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. So that was interesting enough. But I also had the chance to see Guhle play in his first NHL game along with Slavkovsky, Jacky, and Jordan Harris in Montreal versus the Leafs 2 years ago. So just some moments that I was able to be a part of. And it's interesting that, and it's important to mention that Kaiden Guhle is a winner. He won a championship in the WHL with the Edmonton Oil Kings. He also won with the Prince Albert Raiders in the WHL. So this kid's a winner. And that's what we expect from him, is to help this Canadiens team win a Stanley Cup. And he's going to be a big part of it should we do that, right? Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think of the new 6-year extension for Kaiden Guhle? Let me know. I want to hear all about it, you guys. It's exciting times. It's exciting times getting all these deals locked up. The Canadiens still have cap room, like I mentioned last night, over $5.5 million or so cap room to acquire a player. I'll just say a player. Not even going to name a name. Not even going to name a name. All right. Leave your comments down below. Hit like if you want to support the channel. Thanks, guys. Cheers.